What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Remembering the, I almost said sequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy series, three-part series. This is the final part. Today we are going to be talking about Revenge of the Sith!
Once more, the Sith will rule again. And we shall have.
Yep. This is how democracy dies in thunderous applause.
Dude, this movie already so quotable.
I know, right? So Revenge of the Sith is regarded by many as the watchable prequel.
Hey, it's the best of the prequel.
It is. Yes. It is regarded by many as the watchable and the best.
Listen, but before we even get into the movie itself, I need to preface this. Revenge of the Sith, to this day, is the movie that had the most hype behind it, for me, ever. Like, dude, I've been hyped for a lot of movies. Revenge of the Sith, for like a year. It was all I could think about.
Dude, that and, like, I think it was Goblet of Fire that year, too. That's all I could, because, dude, like, we were going nuts because both Revenge of the Sith and Goblet of Fire were the first PG-13 movies in like their respective series. So we're like, ooh, this is gonna
see blood.
We're gonna see some gore.
This is gonna be a little bit embarrassing, but here's how hyped I was for this movie. All right, I had this journal, okay, when I was 11 years old, where I collected all sorts of paraphernalia.
That's awesome.
From the upcoming movie magic.
Dude, the Lego Star Wars video game.
Lego Star Wars video game. Look, I cut out, hold on. I cut out movie reviews days before the movie came out.
That's awesome.
I was so excited.
Dude, and then remember when they were released the original trilogy on DVD and like the box set, you had that bonus disc where it was like you had the behind the scenes of like
the lightsaber practice.
Yeah.
You had the Vader molding getting made for the costume. Yeah. Oh my god, the hype. The hype was 2004/5 was unbelievable. The trailers alone, like dun, dun, when he's rising.
Dude, the teaser trailer where it's like you see Anakin turn and then it's the yellow eyes and then it just goes.
That's the best. I thought that guy, I forget his name off the top of my head, but you know the guy on Utapau who looks creepy?
Yes.
I thought he was gonna be a bad guy. In the teaser trailer, he like hisses, and he's like, I thought he was gonna be a villain.
I know. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He had the
it's
red.
Like Obi-Wan's like contact. It's like Obi-Wan's contact on Utapau, right?
Yeah. And it's what's his name? The Mouth of Sauron, and he's in Road Warrior.
He's the Mouth of Sauron.
Yes, he is.
Oh, no wonder why he's creepy then.
And he's the helicopter guy in Road Warrior.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, dude, like I can't even describe. Like this is a movie where I didn't even care if I got spoiled. I absorbed everything about this movie before it came out. I knew everything about this movie. I read the novelization. I played Lego Star Wars, which spoiled like the whole movie. I played the Revenge of the Sith video game on Xbox 360 or Xbox.
Yeah, 360. No, okay. No, Xbox. Yeah,
Xbox.
Yeah.
I can't even say Xbox One anymore though. Just original Xbox. But like that game where Anakin incorrectly was just using Force lightning left and right, like that never happened.
Well, dude, and then they had that bonus level because they had the final level where it was you play as Obi-Wan and you fight Anakin, but then they had like a super secret bonus level where you were Anakin, you fight Obi-Wan, you kill Obi-Wan, and then you kill the Emperor.
Yeah, he's like, the galaxy belongs to me. He like stabs the Emperor. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And like this movie, I'm telling you, people nowadays don't understand. This was hype because at the time, and it seems like a joke now, right? But at the time, they're like, this is the end of Star Wars. This is it. This is the end. The circle is now complete. It was always in the advertising. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna, like my parents, so we're gonna see what happened. And my parents are gonna be able to see how that happened in 1977. Like it was all gonna come around. And I was so hyped. And even though the prequels weren't like fantastic, and I mean, we've debated those in the past videos, but the fact that this movie was gonna link those movies to the originals was just such an interesting idea and so exciting. And then, like, it turned out pretty good. Like, I think overall, it's got, just straight up, Episode 3 definitely still has some of the faults that were in Episode 1, Episode 2. It still
it's got bad dialogue, but not as much.
Right. And some of what an acting, some of the execution's not great, but overall, it's way better.
Yeah.
because this is
Its
the story
story
that
is
should have been told over
this movie should have been spread out through the 3 movies.
right. You could have really started episode 1 straight up like Clone Wars is in the middle of the Clone Wars. Anakin and Obi-Wan are like already Jedi Knights working together.
Yeah.
Like that would have been cool.
I
But
would have bought the brother relationship more.
right. Like they really tried to hit that in like the first half hour of this movie because I think George Lucas realized I have no time to like establish them as friends because the first movie they barely spoke. The second movie they hated each other pretty much and barely spoke. And then the third movie they're like, oh hey buddy, we're in all these hijinks together. Brother.
This is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun begins. Oh my god. Well, have you noticed the shields?
Oh, it's you. I didn't say anything.
They'll use wire jokes. I'm like, what the? He didn't say anything. But like, okay, episode 3 though, like, I can't even get over the fact that how much better it is than the first 2.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's just everything, like story wise, that you wanted to see and stuff you didn't know you ever needed to see. Like when it's like Yoda and Emperor Palpatine fight, I'm like, I didn't know I ever watched this.
Not only that, not only did I want to see Yoda and Emperor Palpatine fight, but who knew we all wanted them to fight in the Senate?
Right, the crumbling republic as the Empire rises. It's amazing. Like, okay,
symbolic.
I gotta calm down. I'm gonna be all over the place. This movie is amazing,
dude. Okay? The opening battle over Coruscant should have been like 2 hours.
It's amazing.
It should have been 2 hours.
One of the best space battles in Star Wars, perhaps the best space battle in Star Wars.
Buzz droids.
It's so cool. Like you got all those little moments like that where R2 and the Buzz droid are like,
R4 gets killed.
R4 dies. That's so sad.
No, okay, but can we talk about how badass R2 is in this opening?
Listen, R2 is the best in every movie. I've always said that. He's my favorite hero of Star Wars because he's the one who saves all the other heroes and gets no credit ever.
I know, in the sequel trilogy, he like did nothing.
Hey, he restored C-3PO's memory that one time. When they should have left him without a memory, really, but you know.
But no, like he comes like they get into the hangar. I mean, they wreck some droids, and then what is he? He uses his thrusters to burn the droids.
Yeah, he splatters them and lights them on fire. That's those badass things.
Aren't they like kicking him too?
Well, at first, yeah, they kick him because they're picking him up and like bullying him and shit. And he's like, I'm fucking R2-D2. Okay? You are nameless super battle droids. But we also forgot to mention that this movie has one of the best opening words of any movie of all time.
War!
War!
What is it good for?
My favorite thing though is that like they say, oh, the Republic and the Separatists are fighting, and there's heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere. And I'm like, unless you've seen the Clone Wars show, which hadn't come out yet at the time of this movie. The Filoni CGI one. It didn't look like there were heroes on both sides. The Separatists just look like battle droids and Count Dooku and the Viceroy Gunrex.
Sometimes Grievous.
Yeah, sometimes Grievous. But, I forgot to mention, the hype for this movie was also helped by the fact that in between episode 2 and episode 3, the Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars cartoon hyped this up because it had the last few episodes of that show are a prequel to this movie.
The city is under attack! Defend the city, we must!
Yeah, Coruscant gets attacked. It's essentially like the opening crawl.
Didn't you do an unabridged or an abridged version?
I did do Clone Wars Abridged. I did do one episode many a year ago, which is crazy. It's crazy to think about. Yeah. The thing is, with that show, it's super stylized. It's Gendy Tartakovsky, Samurai Jack style. General Grievous, who I'm gonna get into a rant with because I fucking love General Grievous. Okay, he in that show was ridiculously badass to the point where he's a different character pretty much. He like slaughters Jedi in groups. He fights everyone. He's amazing. He's like super scary. And then I see this movie, and the first time you see him, he's like,
how do you get the cough in the cartoon? I forget.
In the cartoon, they realized they didn't have the cough, so they suddenly put in a scene where as he's escaping with Palpatine, Mace Windu shows up and just like crushes his windpipe. Like, okay. But then when you watch the like, which is why the continuity doesn't match up, but
Yeah.
the Filoni Clone Wars, Grievous has the cough the whole time and he acts like movie Grievous.
Okay.
But as far as like new characters, like when you watch this movie and you had like this is before the Clone Wars show, you see the opening credits. If you hadn't seen that cartoon leading up to this movie, in the opening credits where it's like the droid leader General Grievous, most people are like, who? No, he's
Yeah.
not in the previous
He wasn't in
movies.
the previous two. Who is he?
Yeah, they should have hinted at him in Attack of the Clones.
They
That'd be
should have.
cool.
What if he was like
Okay.
one of the people that got the Death Star off of or the Death Star plans off of
Yeah, if there's like a hint of him on Geonosis, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Maybe if George Lucas had made special editions of the prequel.
Like he's not even the sad part is though is that he's kind of a waste in this movie. Other than like the cool idea that they have with him is that he likes collecting lightsabers and lightsabers will make a great addition to my collection.
He kills Jedi. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Except you wonder how.
But then later on in the movie, when Obi-Wan shows up on Utapau, and you just see Obi-Wan whip out his lightsaber, and you see Grievous extend 2 other arms and take out 4 lightsabers, it's like, oh, it's on. But then, the fight kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, there's like 5 lightsaber fights in this movie.
Yeah,
they had to cut one short, I guess.
Yeah. but at least it had a cool chase scene that followed it.
And I like the like hand-to-hand part at the end, and I like the way Obi-Wan freaking kills
So
it.
uncivilized.
But the thing I like about Grievous, first off, he's got a cool design. He hints at Darth Vader's future as far as like a cybernetic villain who's like breathing is impaired. And I really like his the fact that he's got this reputation as like killing Jedi, but he's really just like this coward. Where the second things are going his way, he's like, I'm gonna launch myself into space to get away from you. Like I'm gonna be like sucking out in space.
His bodyguards too are awesome.
You lose, Kenobi. Oh yeah, the Magna Guards. These guys are awesome. That's
Yeah. They got like they're not lightsabers, but they're like electricity things.
Yeah, electro staffs. I feel like they have a different name, but
yeah.
Cool.
Obi-Wan decapitates one. It's still like moving around.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The opening of this movie is so exciting. It feels like kind of like
the Dooku fight from Attack of the Clones is redeemed in this movie.
For real though, it's a better fight, and it's in the first like 10 minutes of this movie.
Well, and the thing I love about that though is that you had so the whole beginning of the movie revolves around them trying to save Palpatine from being
the Chancellor.
Yeah, from the clutches of Grievous. But like when they show up in like I'll call it the throne room, I guess, of the ship. I love how he's just sitting there, kind of like it's a very parallel shot to how he sits in the Death Star.
Oh yeah, that whole sequence I love because it's literally that scene you're talking about in Return of the Jedi, where Palpatine's doing the exact same thing, where he's testing to get a new apprentice.
Yeah.
The only difference is instead of Luke stopping killing Vader, Anakin's like, "You want me to kill this guy? I shouldn't. It's not the Jedi way. Oh, you're dead." Like why?
Dude,
I always wondered. Poor Dooku is still crouching there without any hands, and he should just be like, "He's Sidious. He told me to do this."
Dude, I love the look on Dooku's face too, when Palpatine's like, "Kill him."
Listen,
Kill him now. And then Dooku's just like,
Christopher Lee's the best. That's when he should have started screaming and spilling his heart out. But Christopher Lee was on set for probably, I think, like a day. Like he really
doing his own damn stunts. I'm thoroughly convinced he did that backflip over the railing.
Yeah, that unnecessary entrance where he's like at the top.
Your swords, please.
Let's don't make a mess of things in front of the Chancellor. My powers are double since the last time we met, Count.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Classic.
This time we take him together. I was about to do that.
Which is funny because now, like, there are some things the Clone Wars show where it makes complete sense and jives with the movies.
Yeah.
But there are things like that where when this movie came out, they're very obviously talking about the last time was on Geonosis in episode 2. but they fight Dooku. Anakin fights Dooku like at least 4 times in the Clone Wars show. So like it's like my powers doubled since the last time we met count. Well, like last week in season 6 of the Clone Wars.
Well, dude, can we talk about Obi-Wan in this fight for a minute?
Can we talk about Obi-Wan in general? He's the best. He's the best.
Well,
Okay,
in this fight though, like he at least has some cool moments, and it's at least better than his lightsaber fight with Dooku in the second one. But still, like he gets choked and then thrown into a railing, and then that thing, and then that
he
thing
should be dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say he should be dead.
When he hits that thing, like his body would break in half.
And then like, is it? I don't know if it's this or the video game. I think it's the movie. But when the thing comes crashing down on him, it like moves his body slowly forward.
Yeah.
I think it's in this, not the
That's
video.
in the movie, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's a little weird, but well, and then the whole thing is after Anakin kills Dooku, and he's like, okay, Chancellor, we gotta go, and then he goes to check on Obi-Wan. This is how you know Palpatine's up to no good. Leave him, Anakin. We don't have time.
Leave him, but whatever make it, his fate will be the same as ours. Classic. Okay, so just a little sidetrack before we get, because I feel like with this movie, we're probably going to end up going sort of chronologically.
We're going to veer in many different directions.
Yeah, but so Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor crushes it once again.
Oh, I love his look in this movie, too.
Dude, they made him he looks so much like young Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you can so easily see him spending.
I was not confused as to who he was in this movie, unlike Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, like it's very cool. He acts kind of more Alec Guinness. He's a bit more like kind of.
Hello there.
Yeah, hello there. Like, it's just really cool how they did that. And then, you know what? Before we really get into it, I'm going to take a little moment on my soapbox, and I'm going to defend Hayden Christensen for a moment. All right?
I'll defend him in this movie.
He improved significantly.
I don't think, significantly. I still don't think he's like amazing, but like a lot of his line delivery in this movie though is significantly better.
And I will also say this specifically about his line delivery, which I think a lot of people overlook. I think his delivery as Anakin is very intentionally trying to recapture the vocal speech patterns of Darth Vader. Where Darth Vader talks that way, it just sounds a million times cooler because he has a breather and like a deep voice, James Earl Jones voice. Like where Hayden Christensen speaks sometimes in the same kind of drawn out, like Vader's always like, you don't know the power of the dark side.
Yeah.
Where this Anakin's like, you underestimate my power, which sounds a little hokey coming from Hayden Christensen. But if Darth Vader said that, it'd be the coolest thing in the world.
I know, right?
Like, it'd be so cool.
The parts where I think he's bad is right before he fights Obi-Wan at the end, where he's like, "You turned her against me."
Sure.
Yeah.
But
that's
some of those moments where he's saying things like, the Separatists have been taking care of my master.
I think
it sounds wooden, but if Darth Vader put a modulator over it, that sounds like Darth Vader.
I think he's at his best in the opera scene with Palpatine.
That's the best scene of the prequel trilogy. Straight up. Straight up.
I know.
Like, that scene is amazing. And the amount of times Palpatine turns his head in that scene. Not from a Jedi. It's amazing. Just keep track. It's amazing.
Was that scene the teaser trailer?
Yes. That moment where it's like, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities. Is it possible to learn this power? Then the head turn. Not from a Jedi. Classic. Okay, and like Palpatine, just his whole like Ian McDiarmid.
I know. Oh, okay. Wait, I gotta rant about him later on, but
we're gonna fight. Ian McDiarmid, his delivery, man. When he says in that opera scene, just to stick with that scene, when he's talking about Darth Plagueis the Wise, and he says it's ironic, he could save others from. Like, you can see they never specifically say that Darth Sidious murdered Plagueis, but you get the implication simply from the nostalgia on Ian McDermott's face of how much he fucking probably enjoyed murdering Darth Plagueis. It's ironic. Like he's
Well,
so,
yeah, because the whole scene, he's got like this like sly smirk on his
yeah,
face.
he's telling the stories like, you ever heard? It's a Sith legend from like 10 years ago where I fucking
Like
murdered.
right then and there, shouldn't Anakin be like, "How do you know about a Sith legend?"
Yeah, he really, they all should be smarter, but the dark side clouds many things. But like straight up, okay, episode 2, Count Dooku's like, you know, the Senate is now being controlled by this Darth Sidious. And Obi-Wan's like, that's impossible. We would have heard of it. And I would have been, if I was Obi-Wan, I would have been like, okay, Count Dooku told us that there's another Sith and he's controlling the Senate. Who do we
It's
not trust?
Palpatine.
Who do we not trust?
It's
To
this
the point
man.
where we're spying on him.
It is this man named Sheev.
Yeah, it should be like, it's pretty, I think it's pretty obvious in the words of Gilderoy Lockhart. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, this movie, what I like about it is obviously this is a movie where shit goes down. So this is a dark movie. Like it starts out fun. Like the first 20 minutes is like a Star Wars adventure. And it's like we're fighting in elevators and we're flying ships. And then once you get back to Coruscant, there's this creepy feeling of dread, like with every scene where it's like, oh God, something bad's gonna happen soon.
Well, because then Obi-Wan and Anakin part ways.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that scene needed another draft. I've never liked how it's like, instead of showing us that Obi-Wan loves him and stuff, he's like, I am proud of you, whatever. And like, blah, blah, blah. I raised you since you were a small boy. I'm like, we know. But yeah, I mean, I just like the intensity of this movie.
I love the Millennium Falcon cameo when they get to Coruscant.
It's not canon. It's not canon. It's another Corellian cruiser. Yeah, I don't know. Just this one, I think I wanted that feeling from all the prequels.
Yeah,
Where there's this impending doom that you know is like coming.
but I don't get that with the Phantom Menace, and I don't get it with Attack of the Clones.
I get it in like towards the end of Attack of the Clones, where they're like the Clone Wars has begun or whatever, and you get like the Imperial March, like those moments, and even the wedding. I'm like, that's gonna be sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like I just really.
Can we talk about the dialogue again? Because this next scene after they get back to Coruscant, when Anakin reunites with Padme and she's like, "I'm pregnant." The next scene where they're just hanging out in like their apartment.
Yeah, that's not a great movie.
No, take me back to the days in Naboo where there was nothing but our love.
Yeah,
and I've always thought Natalie Portman looked weird in that scene.
George needed another writer to do the my life. He needed
the love has blinded you.
Needed to be tweaked for sure. But yeah, I just like this movie really highlights the parallels of like Luke and Anakin.
Yeah,
where, like in the third one of that trilogy, he's in mostly all black. He's got the artificial arm.
Yep.
He's given the same decisions like killing Dooku, but he makes the wrong choices, and it's like. Sorry, Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they also just beat everything to Anakin's head. Like, oh, like he's still having nightmares about Padme dying. He wants to be a member of the Jedi Council, but they tell him no.
I still wish, like I said in the previous videos, they should have done the slave thing. I think that would have given him way more reason. Like like he's scared about Padme. Palpatine's like, oh, you're great. Like, they should make you a master. And then when they don't, he's like, it's not fair. And like, then he's also upset because you're asking me to spy on a mentor and a friend. That's what's out of place here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anakin, use your thoughts.
and then even in that scene, you kind of sense that there's like tension between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I always liked the scene with him and Yoda one-on-one in like the meditation room.
Yeah.
With like the shade and the light and like they're kind of sitting there talking because you don't usually get a one-on-one between them.
No.
So it's interesting to see like the two of them have a chat before shit goes to hell. And Yoda's like, don't cling to like shit, okay? And Anakin's like, I'm gonna cling to shit.
Wait to suffering. Is that this one or was that Attack of the Clones?
That's Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I was just saying. I thought that was Attack.
This one is the whole like, miss people do not, mourn them do not, for their one with the Force. Like
Yoda,
Yoda
going to Kashyyyk, hanging out with the Wookiees is amazing.
Yeah, that was cool. Seeing the army of Wookiees was really cool. Did Chewbacca need to be there?
No.
But I like seeing it.
Well, dude, and then that's when the shit starts to hit the fan. Like, well, because like there's a bunch of shit happening all at once. So you have you have Anakin like spying on Palpatine for the Jedi Council, and him being tempted by Palpatine to turn to the dark side because he's like, I can't be a master. And then he discovers that Palpatine is actually the Sith Lord. Thank God it took them how many years? 13? Because the Jedi just sat on their asses for a movie and a half. So he finds out. It's like it's actually a really good moment because it's like, oh wow, Anakin has come a long way, you know, like
he just had to make it super obvious. Like Palpatine was like, I know many things, even the nature of the dark side, and Anakin's like, wait, you're the Sith Lord.
So you're the Sith Lord. but like you have all that.
You're going to kill me. I would certainly like to.
But you have all that, and then you have Obi-Wan on Utapau. You have
Commander Cody. Shout out to Commander Cody, you treacherous bastard.
You traitor.
Listen, okay, one thing which I've been talking about throughout this whole trilogy, the Clone Wars show makes all these movies significantly better. Because now, when I rewatch this movie, I see Commander Cody and I'm like, hello, old friend. We've been through many episodes together with you and Captain Rex. Like, I love you, Cody. And that Cody turns, I'm like, no! Like,
dude, if Obi-Wan had a scrapbook like Scooby-Doo, there would be a picture of Commander Cody with the word traitor under it.
And that poor giant lizard with the bark.
That Obi-Wan rides?
Yeah, and it gets shot. And
it's like a dinosaur.
So sad.
Yeah, but then you have that, and then you have, like I said, you have Yoda on Kashyyyk, and then you have like the Jedi Council or Anakin confronting like Mace Windu, and he's like, Palpatine's the Sith Lord, and Mace is like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, he's sure.
If Mace wasn't such a dick to Anakin all the time, maybe none of this would have happened.
I don't trust him.
It's like, we get it. You don't like Anakin. You haven't liked Anakin since he was that little shit pod racer who showed up and was acting all hot shit. And Mace Windu's like, shut up, kid.
Yeah, but then all of this converges to the point where Mace Windu walks into Palpatine's office and he's like, in the name of the galactic.
Whoa. He had Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto was there.
Yeah, he brings like 3 other Jedi with him, Kit Fisto, and then they walk in and they're like, in the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you're under arrest, Chancellor.
That was sick.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi? The Senate will decide your fate. I am the Senate. Not yet. and then he's just like, it's treason, then. But dude, when Ian McDiarmid's swinging that lightsaber, he's like,
it's treason, then.
Listen. He was not a trained swordsman. Ian McDiarmid has never been in his life.
But then the fight starts, and you have that one stupid Jedi whose head's like back here. He's like, ah.
Okay, yeah. Was it a bit weird and poorly shot? Sure. Because it makes it seem like the Jedi all suck, and they're all masters.
At least Kit Fisto lasted the longest out of those.
He blocked a shot or two, and then he went down.
And then he got gangs.
But the first two, it was like immediately they weren't even like ready at all. Just yeah.
Well, then you get a pretty decent fight between them, where of course they have to break the glass to the.
Hell yeah, you got it.
Yeah. And then you get Palpatine shooting Force lightning at Mace Windu.
You and I.
Well, then that's intercut with Anakin, because you have that whole scene with Anakin,
beautiful.
Yeah.
When he's looking out the window, Padme's looking at her. That's
Dude,
beautiful.
if there were more moments like that in the prequel trilogy,
Yeah.
it would have been amazing because like it's proof that thoughts and actions speak louder than words.
It's literally like Luke looking out at the binary sunset. There's no words, but you know the emotions that are happening.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You know in that moment, like Anakin's gonna fuck up right
Oh yeah, he's like, oh god, I gotta do something. I'm getting desperate. This is sad. She's gonna die. I guess I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And then gets there, and it's
Yeah.
like, Anakin, no.
Yeah. So he's deflecting Palpatine's lightning, and Palpatine's like getting all like deformed. He's like, "You kill me!"
You kill me. Okay, this is the moment. I'm gonna rant. Ian McDermott is fucking awesome.
Oh, he is.
Listen, he may have been terrible at lightsaber.
Okay, can I do the line first?
Yes.
Yeah. They're gonna kill me. The Jedi are taking over.
Nail it every time. But like Ian McDermott, you can tell he's having the fucking time of his life.
He's like, I'm relishing this. I finally get to do my villain origin story.
I've been waiting 2 movies to actually let people see me go nuts. He's like, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna be evil.
You wanna go nuts? Let's get nuts.
Like he literally like relishes those moments so much. Like he just
listen to him.
Like if there was a dial, he goes from it's like it ends at 10. He like cranks it up to like 100.
Well, the best part too is when like he like Anakin's like, no, I need him, and he chops off Mace Windu's hand, and then Palpatine's like, no, wait, no, I think it's before he's like, no, you will die.
Yeah, when Mace's arm gets chopped off, he has that creaky look on his face where he realizes he won, and he's like, I am watching power.
And there's a
Mace Windu's dead. Mace Windu's dead.
I was gonna say he's dead.
I don't care what Samuel Jackson
and flung out of a window and into traffic that's flying in the air.
Listen, I liked Mace Windu. Mace Windu was a cool Jedi. He's played by one of the coolest people in the world. Yeah. But he needs to stay dead. We have too many Jedi who didn't die.
Okay, so in the theater, like I knew Mace Windu was gonna die. But like up until that point when I was a kid, I had seen so many movies with Samuel L. Jackson that I hadn't seen a single one where he died. So at that point, I was just like, he died.
I mean, I like the fact too that Mace, he didn't just get taken out like during Order 66.
Yeah,
he like
that would have been stupid.
His death felt like more important than that. It felt like that's where things turn.
Speaking of Order 66, justice for Conehead.
Listen, all those people. That whole sequence is when the movie like really takes off.
Dude,
when that whole music,
dude, the shots like the shot where you first see it happen and like Hyundai Monday's like follow me, and then like they all kneel down and you just see like from like their shins down.
Oh yeah, you see their feet.
He's like,
stop.
He's like, what the fuck? And he gets blown away. He's like,
and then poor Ayla Sakura on Felucia gets gunned down in the back, and then they keep shooting her while she's dead. I'm like, oh, she's dead.
And then Plo Koon gets shot down too, doesn't he?
Plo Koon gets shot in a starship. He gets blown up, and who else dies? A bunch of people. Well, all the Jedi in the temple.
Ahsoka didn't exist at this point. Right?
But Clone Wars Season 7, spoiler alert, that music comes back when Order 66 executes in the Clone Wars show. And you see Order 66 from Ahsoka's perspective.
Well, dude, and then the best part about this is that you have those stormtroopers on Kashyyyk. And you get their orders from Palpatine where he's like, execute Order 66. And they're like, right away, sir. And then they look at Yoda and they're like,
he's not having it. Yoda's not having it. No. He takes their heads clean off, no hesitation.
And then he just climbs on Chewbacca's back.
Yeah, the Wookiees are like, what? Wait, did you just chop them? I thought they were our friends. You chopped their heads off. What's happening?
Goodbye, Chewbacca. And Yoda's theme.
Yeah, that Dagobah feeling, man.
Yeah. And then, dude, Anakin walking with the stormtroopers on the Jedi Temple.
Okay, it's cool, but it could have been better. In the words of Pedro Pascal from the god-awful Wonder Woman 84, it's good, but it could be better. um, if they hadn't played that music and instead had played the goddamn Imperial March when Darth Vader's marching with the stormtroopers.
Because what music's playing? The one where it's like dun 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 dun.
It's that dun 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 dun. It's like a separatist song.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why, John Williams? I'm like, this is literally the first Imperial March. Let's do it.
Dude, those poor younglings, though. Master Skywalker, they're taking over the temple.
As an 11-year-old, as a kid seeing that scene, I was like, just the thought of it.
Well, yeah, and then you have that one kid that's running out of the temple towards Bail Organa, and Bail Organa's just like, come here, and then that kid gets gunned down. No!
That's a great scene, too. I'm sorry, sir, but you're going to have to leave. Like, also, Tamora Morrison, still crushing it. Still crushing it.
There's a reason he was Aquaman's daddy.
Yeah, this is what this whole section is when this is the part where if I'm like sort of watching Revenge of the Sith, this is when I'm locked in.
Well, shouldn't Obi-Wan have more of what the fuck is happening? Because he gets shot down, the lizard dinosaur thing, whatever it's called, gets killed by the stormtroopers, and then he's just like, my clone trooper's torn on me. I'm like, wait, shouldn't you be questioning it more though?
I mean, what can you
do? He probably
the whole planet's overrun.
Yeah, well, plus two of the Force, he probably sensed it at that point where it's like, shit. And then him and Yoda wrecking house on the stormtroopers.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing too just the Tantive 4, from the original movie. That's really cool to be in that white hallway again.
Yeah,
just as a full circle. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they're at the Jedi Temple and they're just destroying the stormtroopers, and Anakin going to Mustafar to kill the Separatists is really cool.
Stood up and cheered in the theater. I was like, I hate those guys.
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
It was so satisfying to see Newt Gunray get the Ghana.
Well, Sidious, he promised us peace. We only wanted to. And then Anakin standing looking out at the lava.
Yeah, is that after he kills Newt Gunray? Is that the first moment where he does the head turn? You see his eye, like the eye of Sauron, basically.
Yeah, the big trailer moment with the yellow eye.
Yeah,
that's an iconic shot. Now you think about it, that's classic prequel stuff.
No lip quivering either.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then but I love that it was intercut with Palpatine's Empire speech.
Who could have done this?
Yeah, yeah, and it's intercut with that. It's so cool. And then Palpatine's just whole,
rise of the Empire. That's how the Republic dies, with thunderous applause.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like that whole set. This whole part of the movie is so cool.
Dude, the second half's amazing.
Yeah, he really gets.
I don't care if the Anakin and Obi-Wan lightsaber fight is 17 minutes long. Who cares?
Yeah,
it's still amazing.
So you end up getting to I still think it's stupid Padme's shocked that he would kill kids, considering he admitted to her
murdered Tusken Raiders.
He's like, not just the men, but the women and the children too. I'm like, okay, so he's killed kids before, Padme. So if he kills kids again, this shouldn't be shocking.
Well, because Obi-Wan tells her, he's like, I saw a hologram of him killing younglings. No, that's not true. Anakin would never do that.
He wouldn't. He couldn't. He's like, he has, and he did. Wake up, Padme.
I know. And then she flies to Mustafar, and then not Anakin.
Okay, Obi-Wan stowing away. Okay, fair enough. Obi-Wan showing himself what he did. You got Padme killed.
I know.
Why did you reveal yourself?
I know. But she also has that terrible line where she's like, "You're breaking my heart."
Yeah, it's not a great scene.
No,
for sure.
That scene. Well, I've always loved. I brought peace, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire? Don't make me kill you.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic.
It's a democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. I think he's really wooden in that scene.
Well, but also remember what I said.
Yes, I know.
But if you put a Darth Vader filter, that's how Darth Vader talks.
I know.
don't make me kill
Yeah.
you. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Thus begins. Do you consider this the best lightsaber fight of the prequel trilogy?
There was a time where I thought there was no question about it, where I'm like, this is by far the best. But now I'm like, I still love it. I just wish there was more interchange during. Like, I wish there were maybe like moments like in Empire Strikes Back where there's those moments of quiet where like Luke's looking for Vader, and then all of a sudden a lightsaber comes out of nowhere. Like, I wanted moments of that where maybe they like break away from each other for a sec, and Anakin, even if it's like "fuck you," no, fuck you.
I did like how it went from like, okay, it does look like they're dancing again, because you could tell like somebody over at Fox told George, it was like, hey, that lightsaber fight in Attack of the Clones, that kind of sucked. It was a bit too slow. So let's speed it up a little bit, get back to the Phantom Menace vibes. So it's like, you will try, and then they just activate their lightsabers, which Anakin does a backflip, and it's like, dun, 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 they're like going so fast.
I've got to give them props though.
Yeah,
like Hayden and Ewan,
put so much work into that.
Yeah, they crushed. Like they did all of it. That's crazy.
Okay, but the music, the Battle of the Heroes and A Hero's Fall, dun, 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 dun. But what I also love about that fight is it goes from a lightsaber fight. Not only does it get interrupted by another lightsaber fight, but it goes from like Anakin and Obi-Wan lightsaber fighting to Anakin and Obi-Wan hand-to-hand combat.
Choking each other out and kicking each other on a table.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. As brief as it is, it's fucking awesome.
And that moment, as hokey as the lead up to it is, there's that epic moment where the lead up is stupid, where they're both just twirling lightsabers and not hitting each other. But then when they finally clash after 30 seconds, and then they both use the Force and the Force theme kicks in,
yeah,
chills.
But then there's like that weird cut too, where like because it cuts to Yoda walking into Palpatine's office, being a badass, using the Force to just kill the Praetorian guards. He just walks in, he's like, and they're just like, oh. So you have the start of that fight, which, dude, I remember in the theater when what's his face Palpatine shoots Yoda with the Force lightning. My mom was like, no.
I can see that, dude. Given how she reacted to Dobby dying.
Even though she hates Star Wars, she loves Yoda. So when she saw that, she was like, no! And then Palpatine's just laughing. He's like cackling. He's like,
yeah, Ian McDermott just chewing up the cedar.
Green friend. and then when when Yoda like opens his eye, I remember my mom was like, "Oh, thank God!"
It's like, Mary, haven't you seen the originals? He's alive.
Yeah, but you're intercut with that, with the lightsaber fight. But so once you start that lightsaber fight, it cuts back to Anakin and Obi-Wan, and it's got that weird shot where Obi-Wan's just getting choked. He's like, "Oh." I'm like, where did that come from?
I like that fight.
Wasn't that part of like a deleted scene though?
There was a deleted section of the fight where they definitely got a hold of each other, or I think Obi-Wan gets a hold of both their lightsabers at one point because he's holding Anakin's or vice versa during that part.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I remember too. Originally, George Lucas said that the fight was going to be like 17 minutes. And I think it ended up being 12. So it's like he got 5 minutes of that fight. Still a long fight, but then it gets to a point where it's like they I think it's right after that where they start fighting again, and then it just kicks into dun 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 and dun 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 and dun dun dun, and it just continues to go back and forth, and then all of a sudden you just see Yoda fighting Palpatine in the Senate, and they're having a lightsaber battle, and Yoda's doing his flips again, and it's awesome. And then they're having a Force battle, and then Palpatine has that weird shot where he's like from the trailer, you know, and dude. All of that is fucking amazing. I just think the part where they start swinging on the ropes should have been more than just one clash. That would have been cool.
The whole section apparently where the thing tips and it falls into the lava. That whole thing, I guess Steven Spielberg came up with.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that in Lego Star Wars. That was a bitch.
But yeah, I mean the lightsaber fight, it's crazy. It's like it's long, but it's super impressive.
This is the end for you, my master.
I like the moment where like the lava spurts and the two of them kind of stop fighting for a second and they're just hiding against the wall.
Well, I've always loved that moment too, where I think Obi-Wan, is it Obi-Wan that's on the platform, and then Anakin's on like that little droid, where he jumps over Obi-Wan and he gets to the edge and he almost falls in.
The Obi-Wan should have just force pushed him.
He had the advantage there. He had the high ground there.
Yeah, the high ground. Yeah, tell it to Darth Maul. There's no advantage to the high ground.
Yeah, but I've always loved their like little exchange where it's like, I have failed you, Anakin. I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil.
Well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Obi-Wan should have like, what?
Since when?
Like how? You killed kids.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why the slave thing, man. I'm telling you, that would have been like, well, the Jedi aren't helping people, so you know.
Dude, I gotta ask though. Did Obi-Wan chop his leg? How did he chop his legs and his arms off in one swing?
He gave it a nice swish and flick. He did a swoop. He swooped. He swooped his arm and then he gave her out
the legs make sense, but then when it's like the arms, I'm like,
because he jumped over him, right? And Obi-Wan needed to disarm him. So he swiped
up the high ground.
He went like this.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But the thing is, Anakin, if he hadn't been overcome with overconfidence, it's his weakness. He shouldn't have tried jumping over Obi-Wan, and instead should have just gently stepped off the ledge onto land and fought uphill.
Or just jumped right in front of him.
Yeah, like don't do anything fancy.
I never caught Obi-Wan off guard, I think.
You once both be known as Darth.
Can we talk about Can we talk about that for a minute? Because like, how does he just randomly like come up with the name Vader? He's just like, you will henceforth be known as Darth.
Listen, the Sith just come up with fun names off the top of their heads. What if Darth Plagueis one day was probably like, well, henceforth you'll be known as Darth Sidious.
I've always loved that scene where he's like right after Anakin's like, I will do as you ask, and then Palpatine's like, the Force is with you. His face looks hilarious.
The Force is strong
with you. His face looks hilarious, though.
There's some weird execution in this movie, man. But overall,
but it works.
Overall,
it's all awesome because it's so iconic. Yeah, so that's essentially the ending. But then we have Padme giving birth to Luke and Leia.
I kind of wish she had. I like the juxtaposition that she dies as Darth Vader's born.
I just think the reason she dies is stupid.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've heard there's theories. There's theories that Palpatine used the Force to take her life force and give it to Anakin so Anakin survived.
I could see that.
That'd be kind of cool. I've heard that theory.
A dyad in the Force.
Jumping ahead like 70 years.
Look what you have made. Yeah, I mean, I could buy that, I guess. But like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like, oh, like she lost the will to live.
Yeah, it's a weak reason.
Yeah,
but Jimmy
Smits, man, as Bail Organa. Yeah,
but yeah, it's. I think overall, it doesn't. It's not 100% match up with what we're told in the originals.
Yeah,
like the whole like Leia being like Luke being like, "Do you remember your mother?"
Yeah, every time I watch Return of the Jedi now, she's like images. I'm like, wait a minute, you were only a baby.
You saw her like once when she was in a hospital dying. Like, is that what you remember?
Well, like, yeah, and then like another thing with that scene too in Return of the Jedi is it's like, yeah, Vader's my father, and then like she doesn't say anything. All right, I'm probably just gonna have to talk over the buzzing, but yeah, no, like shouldn't Luke in that scene be like, Leia, he's your father too? Because like I feel like she doesn't really make a point like that. Vader's like, it's like, oh yeah, you're my brother, but then like she doesn't mention anything about Vader being her father when Luke's like, he's my father.
Yeah, well, she didn't know.
What?
Until he tells him. He tells him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm not huge on.
Please silence your cell phones.
I'm trying. Well, my iPad too. Here we go. Oh my god, this thing won't shut up!
Do it.
Okay, should be good now. Right. Yeah. Well, I do like the ending. You know, you have a big funeral for Padme with a cameo by Jar Jar. Well,
yeah, I actually like that cameo. That's where he should.
Yeah, that's a good cameo, but that little weasel bastard said all these events.
We needed more cameos though. We needed Captain Panaka, okay? We needed Captain Panaka, and we needed that one guy in the window. We needed that guy.
Dude, we needed like the whole Padme funeral should have been broadcast to the galaxy. We should have went to, you know, like what they do at the end of Return of the Jedi, where everybody's partying and getting wasted, except they're all like downers. So we should, yeah, they're all sad. So like we do what they do at the end of Return of the Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, where you go to fucking what's the Ewok planet? I'm blanking on it.
Endor,
and you just see Wicket like crying.
No, okay, it would be like you go to Tatooine, and Watto's like, "Oh, what do you know?
Oh, what do you know? The Jedi is dead." Go to all the places that we've been to in the prequel trilogy.
Camino, those weird alien long neck people.
Mama Sue,
Tonwi. Kid Boba Fett is in his ship with his dad's helmet. Get him! Fire! Oh my god, that's so funny, dude. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I love the way the movie ends, though, where you know, the twins get separated. You know, Bail Organa takes Leia to Alderaan. Sadly, he's not in the next movie.
It's cool seeing Alderaan for like 2 seconds, even though it's gonna blow up in like 20 years.
As you say, it blows up in 20 years, and that's all we see of Alderaan.
Jimmy Smith comes back in Rogue One.
Yeah, there we go. And then he's like, "I'm gonna go to Alderaan." I'm like, "Don't go! Don't go!"
Yeah,
and then you have Obi-Wan bringing Luke to Tatooine to Owen Lars and what's his wife's name?
Aunt Beru.
Yeah, Aunt Beru. That's it.
Oh God, Aunt Beru.
and then you have the is that the Force theme? Dun, 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 dun.
It has the binary sunset.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But I also love the scene where it's controversial. Okay, when Vader becomes Vader.
Oh,
right. I love this scene.
Padme alive.
I love it up until no.
Yeah.
But I like him asking about Padme. I think he would. I think he'd be like.
I think it represents the last fleeting moment of like Anakin's humanity.
Yeah, we need to talk about the perfect moment before that when you see scarred Anakin being like operated on, and that moment is when the mask comes down.
He has that look where it's like, well, shit, what am I getting?
Yeah, his eyes widen, and then you see the red in the lens, and then when the mask, the sound effect gives me chills. Where there's like the
and then all of a sudden it just goes.
Yeah. Oh, dude, if the movie had ended right there, I would have been like, whoa.
Well, we also forgot to mention that 3PO and R2 get their minds wiped.
Not R2.
Oh yeah, that's true.
R2 remembers. He knows everything. So when because in episode 4, when he's like, "Yeah, fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi, let's go," they're like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "We gotta go."
Well, I love.
Gonna be like, "Luke, Darth Vader's your dad." I was on Mustafar with him. He told me to wait at the car.
I love like C-3PO's reaction. It's like, well, what do we do with these two? We wipe their minds. What?
Yeah. Oh no. Which was cool back then when they were just the 6 movies. C-3PO had the first line of the original movie and the last line of the last movie. Yeah. Like the circle's complete, George. Wow, beautiful.
I had the last line of the Skywalker saga too.
But yeah, it was just cool. It was, and then like Vader walking on the bridge, and it's like iconic Vader.
Young Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, young Grand Moff Tarkin just standing there with weird prosthetics on his face,
looking at the construction of the Death Star.
Hell yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. Like I always thought that should have been the last shot of the movie. Like I like the binary sunset,
Yeah.
but
I
that
think,
was like Revenge of the Sith.
my problem with the binary sunset theme is I think it ends too many of the movies.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you also think that like at some point the Republic would discover the super secret construction of a Death Star?
The thing is, the Republic don't care. They're the Empire now. They do Empire. The Empire's like, you don't get to see this. This is Area 51. And if you watch Rebels,
well, I guess what I'm saying is like how long did it take to build the Death Star to the point where it's built to at the end of the movie?
I would say they. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So pre this, like or during this. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, okay, so
because it's I understand like they like in the original trilogy like they know the Death Star is in existence but they just don't know how to destroy it because they don't have the plans.
Yes, that Mads Mikkelsen gave us.
Yes, but it's like but if like Palpatine was building this thing during episodes 1 and 2, like how did they not discover it?
He was doing it at least between episode 2 and 3 because he only got the blueprints at the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
So they must. Okay, I think I'm remembering Rebels, and I'm remembering it vaguely. There's an episode where they go to Geonosis, and literally the Geonosians have been fucking wiped out. I think the Empire was secretly developing this, like on or around Geonosis.
Okay.
By the Geonosians.
I mean, that would make sense why the plans are there. Then.
Yeah, because then they wipe out the Geonosians because they're like, those are witnesses. Like, those are witnesses. We gotta kill these guys. These are
they'll talk.
Boggle the Lesser needs to die. Yeah, like it's just a cool image to get to. Like, I like how it came full circle. The V-Wings at the end of the movie look more like TIE fighters. The ARC 170s look like X-Wings. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You kind of see the progression towards that. Which I thought was really cool. But I think overall they did connect it back to the originals really well.
Yeah,
which is what I always like about this movie. Yeah, they really did a good job. It just feels like they could have maybe spread that out throughout the prequel trilogy.
Yes,
but
I think that's my major problem with Revenge of the Sith, whereas it's like it feels like it's like 3 movies in one. Like it feels like that this movie was the 3 movies George wanted to make.
Could be.
Yeah, but other than that, like it's satisfactory as hell.
Yeah. It always gets me emotional. It always gives me chills. I'm telling you, man. Once you watch the Clone Wars show,
it makes more sense.
It doesn't not necessarily makes more sense. It just hits way harder because you're like, oh man, I love the clones. No, no, and then like, oh man, Anakin, you've been through so much. Ahsoka misses you. Oh.
Well, now that we've talked about the prequels and the sequels, could you imagine doing a Star Wars marathon where it's like, okay, we're going to start with the prequels, then we got to do the Clone Wars show, then we got to go to Rogue One, then we got to go to
Rebels,
and
Rebels before Rogue One, and then Rogue One.
Wait, what? Oh, Rebels before Rogue One, and then Rogue One, and it's like, then we got to go to Bad Batch, and then we got to go to the sequel trilogy, and we got to, then we go to the Mandalorian.
Alex, never watch it in chronological order. You've got multiple things wrong.
I know.
Watching Bad Batch that late. Yeah, but my friend Chris, actually, who you know, when he watched Clone Wars last year for the first time. Was it last year? It might have been longer than that now. It's maybe been a few years. But he watched chronologically episode 1, episode 2. Then he watched the Clone Wars. And then he watched Revenge of the Sith. Then he watched Rebels. Like, he did it all the way through chronologically.
So that's going to wrap it up for our Revenge of the Sith, remembering the prequel trilogy videos. And the final part of this, Pat, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ThisPatGuy. The prequels, part of my childhood, enjoyed them. I still enjoy them overall. They definitely got problems. Revenge of the Sith, though, almost a masterpiece.
I remember back in the day, I called this as good as the original trilogy. But I was a naive young boy.
Some people would prefer it. A lot of people on Twitter, it's their favorite. And if you install Revenge of the Sith, they come after you. They come after you like Commander Cody. Okay, they come after you like fire. I'm like, oh shit.
I'm innocent. You can find me at my official website, alexmaddenmovies.mystrikingly.com. All my social media links are there. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies, or we'll see you at the movies somewhere.
The Jedi are taking over.